you everyone for tuning in to MCTV News today for our first ever segment of the Unsung Warrior. I'm lucky enough to be sitting down with Dean of Students and Vice President of Student Affairs, Allison Gill. Allison, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate all that you've done to allow us back on campus this year. So what was the preparation like over the summer for that, and how did that become a possibility for us this year?
Yeah, so actually preparation for you all coming back actually started last spring while we were still in session, believe it or not. So once we were up and running with remote learning and clubs and organizations were meeting and we were able to kind of master the Zoom world, we immediately switched to what we were going to do to open the campus. And so it was a Herculean effort. There were so many people that were involved, from the administration to the residence life staff on the ground to orientation there was just so many people involved in making sure that everything went seamlessly well. And so we honestly thought about this from every single angle, from every detail. We pretended we were parents and took it from the parent lens. We looked at it from the student lens. We looked at it from as a faculty member, as a staff member, really trying to make sure that we were as transparent as possible with what the plans were going to be to reopen. And so it was definitely, COVID-19 was not predictable and very challenging at times. And so there were plans that were made and then plans that had to change very quickly. And so we just kind of learned to be flexible. We learned that we needed to make sure that we had everything as organized as possible, and then we learned to kind of adapt if we needed to in that moment in time. But our most important thing was always to be back on campus, to be here in person. Merrimack is just, it's such an institution that is really, it's about relationship building, it's about the community, it's about the people. And so we always just kept our eye on that goal, that we really wanted to bring this community back to this campus. So every time that those plans were washed away and rebuilt again, we just kept going with that as our motivation, that we really wanted to be back here and on site at Merrimack.
I'm so thankful that you guys worked so hard to make that happen, because being a senior, I'm so happy just to be back on this campus, and spending all of that time in quarantine with my family was very hard. So I'm very happy to be back and be with my friends.
You were not alone. We heard that from a few different people. So yeah, we understand.
I'm sure. But I know that there were many challenges that you faced, but what are some of the specific challenges that you had struggled with in engaging students due to, with this structure of social distancing and remote learning and keeping that community engagement?
Yeah, so we really quickly pivoted and learned Zoom very quickly. And then we started this brand new communication, was called This Week at Merrimack, right? And so what we did is we tried a whole bunch of different engagement opportunities for students, whether it be a Spotify playlist, to virtual bingo, to just kind of, I was still having dishes with the dean on Fridays. I would literally just sit with a group of students for an hour and they would just talk. They would talk about their home experience. They would talk about what was going on in their classes. They would, really kind of provide us with some intelligence on what was working and what wasn't working, and then we quickly would amend. And we would continue to offer those programs for them so that they could really just relate to each other. Club and organization meetings were huge. Something that I think that was kind of the groups that students were missing. They were missing those people that have like interests and their friends, and so we really just tried to provide as many opportunities as we could to engage people virtually and online. And then as Massachusetts started to open back up a little bit, it actually allowed us to open the campus back up a little bit. So we opened the campus in phases, and we did so in a way that we were able to bring small groups of students back to live on campus. We were able to provide some orientation opportunities. So for us, it was all about trying to see what we could do, to keep people involved. And so, and we continued that. Actually, once school ended, it actually didn't end. Those club and org meetings still went on, which was great. We still provided some programs over the course of the summer. So we tried to do what we can. And I think Merrimack, again, is such a strong community that at times it was just easy to pull people together because they just wanted to see each other's faces. They just wanted to interact. And so it was challenging in a way that I think, people were Zooming from home, from their bedrooms, from, with brothers and sisters and other family members that were around them. So sometimes that was really challenging for them. And so we just made sure that we provided mental health resources, wellness coaches, and just kind of the student affairs staff to be there, to just be on the other side of that Zoom, just to talk students through when something was was going awry for them. And I think this, COVID-19 has been really hard on everybody. And so I think just really trying to acknowledge that and really validate that in our students was important. And so, it was definitely something that it took everybody by surprise, and it happened really quickly, and it took people time to process that. And we just tried to meet everybody where they were at in their process. And I think it worked. I think people were definitely prefer to be in person for the most part, but the remote, we've actually become pretty proficient at it, and so really just excited that it worked out.
Yeah, for sure, and I am so thankful for all of the virtual opportunities that we've had. But speaking kind of to that, what virtual events or even in-person events that you guys were able to hold this semester, like what has been really successful?
So a lot of our playlists have gone really well. Students have participated. Something new that we started a cooking kind of segment on Sundays, and that's gone really well. Bingo is huge.
Oh, I've heard.
Oh my gosh, bingo is huge. So we are now, when we have it in person in the tents, it's in 3 different tents, then it's virtual. So we've tried to do more of the bingo trivia has also been something that's good. We've been really excited. We got to open Augie's. So Augie's has been open for the past, this will be its 3rd week. And so I think seniors and students that are of age are really excited about that. It's kind of more of a dinner sit-down opportunity, but it's been awesome. And I think it's bringing back a little bit of that normalcy that everybody knows.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm definitely happy to have Augie's opening back up, especially with the winter weather coming in.
I know.
So what other events or activities will be options for students on campus as it does get colder, and what do you encourage us to do?
Yeah, so I think we're gonna start to pivot into indoor activities, and so there are some venues that actually are a little bit larger, like the Rogers Center, like Kasha. There's some other places that we can have up to 25 people, and so that's our goal. Is we're going to try to start to shift to that indoor programming. We are going to try to use the tents as long as we possibly can. They're open, they're airy. I think students feel safe out there. We're going to bring in some heaters there too, so I think it will help it last a little bit longer. But yes, we're going to start to transition inside, doing so by following all of the guidelines and whatnot, but really trying to keep that Merrimack spirit, keep those programs that everybody loves, and just continue to offer in different locations. So maybe it's the same program, but a few different locations for that program. So that's kind of how we're looking at pivoting for the colder weather.
That sounds great. Thank you so much again for being here with us today, and thank you for all that you've done, as well as the task force and all the other people that you've mentioned that have made such an amazing difference and got us back onto campus. I'm personally so thankful, and I'm happy to have you here today and have been given this chance to sit down and talk with you.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here too, and I'm happy you're here.
Thank you everyone for tuning in, and we will see you next time for the next Unsung Warrior segment.